I always tell entrepreneurs, it's so important to build structure in the very early days if you want to be on a billboard. So if you want to be a business that thrives, you have to build the structure to make it thrive. You have to start practicing, even if you're the only employee in your business, to ensure that things are kept kosher. If you were a human being as a business, what kind of human being would you be? What is the personality you would have? How would you treat your customer? What is the tone? What is your relationship with your customer? Depending on what that tone is, you can also start to set the structures in place. You can't be building a luxury business and be doing delivery with bike. People only invest in people who invest in themselves.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Career Series powered by MTN. I'm your host, Adeze Adwaka, and joining me on today's episode is Blessing Abeng. Blessing is an award-winning figure in branding and communications. How wonderful is that? Blessing, thank you for joining me on the show this morning.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
I appreciate it.
I was talking about your hair before I came in. I think I need to, you inspire me to cut my hair.
You should.
Is this something that tech people do so that I can know?
Wow, I don't know about tech people. I just know that I wanted to feel water on my scalp when I'm having my shower and all of that.
Thank you for joining me once again on the show.
I appreciate it.
Now, my first question for you on the show would be, what inspired you to, go into the startup ecosystem?
That's an interesting one. I don't know what specific thing inspired me, but I do know my dad was a businessman and my mom was mostly an entrepreneur. So wherever she found herself, she's that person who would be enterprising in a company, right? So she never founded anything earlier on in her life, but she wanted, she has it in her, but she used it to make other people's businesses better. So I was surrounded by solution providers and all of that. So growing up, we were taught to see problems as opportunities and not necessarily as challenges to always complain about. That has always been instilled in me. But in school, all the way to secondary school, I don't know if this was legal by school standards, but I used to sell, I'd bring things that boarders would want. I would bring sweets, biscuits, and all of that to class because then I would bring mine and these people would take it. So I started to put a price on it.
Okay.
And so
business mogul.
I didn't even know I had it
quick.
in me. Yeah. So did that, but I made my first million in university when I wrote a book and sold it. I also started to write business plans.
What was your first book title?
It was titled The Diamond of Life. And it was interesting because I wrote it to challenge myself to keep to time more. I felt like if I wrote a book about time management, I would have no choice but to show up early. Yeah, and I thought more people needed to know. So it was interesting. That worked out well. I also was doing business plans in school at the moment where I decided that I no longer wanted to become a medical doctor. So I taught myself to write business plans and people found it so cool. They'll pay me money to write for them. And it worked out all right. Yeah. But specifically for the tech startup ecosystem, right? While I was doing branding and communications, I sort of started working in an agency. And while I was working there, I just realized all these big brands, they have plenty money to spend. How would you, with your great ideas but your small pockets, compete on a global scale? How would you tell your story? And we had all these great businesses that were coming up with ideas back then. Yaba was the hub for tech. Everybody was in the trenches. I mean, I remember Andela, I remember I remember Tech Cabal even just growing up at the time. We all used to gather and we would have all these events. It was really interesting. We were all trying to help each other. And I and my partner started a community, right? The community exists in Silicon Valley, but we had the Lagos version of that community in Yaba at the time. And so we would have this event. It was called Startup Grind Lagos, and we'd have monthly events where we would help startups, startup founders sort of find their footing. And they would meet each other. Some people found co-founders there. Some people found investments there. It was really interesting. What I really liked about that was we were able to build a community of about 10,000 entrepreneurs. Nice. And I was just trying to help preach the message of branding and communications. But then I saw that the problem was much more than that. And that's where all of that started.
Structuring a startup is very crucial. How have you been able to navigate that?
I mean, it's been interesting because I've been a founder of a number of startups. And
how many?
I probably have lost count. Not because there are many, but just there's some that have definitely stood out. But then I founded an agency where we were serving about 100 entrepreneurs. We're serving about 100 businesses rather at the time. And then the ones that are popular. Oh, I also founded a publishing company.
Yeah.
Then I could go on and on, but let's focus on the ones that are popular and that everybody knows.
Okay.
I always tell entrepreneurs, it's so important to build structure in the very early days. If you want to be on a billboard, if you want to be a global company, what are the things you need to have in place now? I always talk about like how important rehearsing with the same energy is important before the day of the performance. What does this mean? When I used to dance, by the way, then I was in the dance group.
Okay.
And while I was in the dance group, one of the things the instructor used to say is, don't rehearse like, oh, it's just rehearsal now.
Okay.
Like rehearse. Then the same intensity you put in that rehearsal is going to show during performance day.
Exactly.
As soon as the spotlight comes on, because you've been practicing doing this thing a certain way.
It's now a part of you.
It's now a part of you, and that's exactly how you show it. But if you do it with a little bit of mediocrity, or you do it lackadaisically, you won't even know that it's coming through when you're performing.
True.
You think you will switch up, but you've practiced how to be mediocre for so long that it's difficult for you to just suddenly show up excellent.
True.
Right? So what you practice is what gets better. So if you want to be a business that thrives, you have to build the structure to make it thrive. You have to start practicing, even if you're the only employee in your business, to ensure that things are kept kosher. If you've been practicing how to keep your books and practicing how not to spend your company money, when the business is big, you will not need to adjust.
True. You already have that control.
already have the control.
Yeah.
You've built for the big time. Do you get? Whatever you do with your 100 naira is what you will do with your 1 million.
True.
Do you get? Same thing applies to business. So that's something that I've been very intentional about. And so setting up the structure with Ingressive for Good, I remember us thinking, what kind of company do we want to be? If we were a human being, and this is what I do for a lot of my clients, if you were a human being as a business, what kind of human being would you be? What is the personality you would have? How would you treat your customer? What is the tone? What is your relationship with your customer? Do you treat them as friends? Do you treat them as like, because the different tones with business, right? The people who have this relationship with their customers where they look like they are, because they're thought leaders, they're giving advice to the business, to the customers. Same thing applies. The people who have a sisterly, I think for some sanitary pads, they have more of a sister relationship as opposed to, do you get what I mean? As opposed to a mother relationship. So you have to think through, what is the kind of relationship I want to have with my customer? Do I want to be their friend? Do I want to be their instructor? Do I want to be their coach? Do I want to be their mother? Depending on what that tone is, you can also start to set the structures in place. You can't be building a luxury business and be doing delivery with bikes.
Yeah.
It's just not
You're
going
right.
to work.
Yes,
Do you get what I
won't.
mean? So I'm just going away from the things that are even just experiential. The key structures like financial, having a legal person. If you can't afford one, find a friend. If you can't find a friend, the people who have all these tiny services where they do, they would probably be servicing like 5-10 companies
at a time,
and so
and
it
then
makes it affordable.
Yeah.
Don't compromise on your legal, because any bad contracts you get into when you're small, you would have issues when you're big as well.
True.
So you need to put the structures in place. If you learn these things from the early days, it only gets easier as you scale. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Well done. Now, funding for startups is a major challenge. How were you able to get funds to start up Ingressive for Good? And what would be your advice to those who are looking into, getting funds for their own startups?
That's such a brilliant question. And I need to even highlight that getting funding for Ingressive for Good, because it's a non-profit and not just a startup, it gets 2 times harder. Because people think non-profit, you get free money, but it's not as straightforward, especially in a time where there's a cash crunch. We were founded like during COVID period, right? And so imagine being founded when the whole country and the world is on lockdown. People are scared. People don't know what's going to happen next. So they're really holding on tight to their money. Most of the monies that were being released at the time were going towards relief packages, health, non-profits and things like that, but not enough into education. Or the education would be more traditional education and not the type that they think is non-essential. However, one of the things we're able to do is, one, ensure that we could tell our story very clearly. And telling our story meant saying, this is who we are. This is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. But beyond that, show proof. We did a pilot program because, yes, we had track record as individuals, but we needed to show track record that this is a concept that can work. So we did a pilot, and most people would call that like an MVP, like a minimum viable product. I do understand that when you want to start, it's so easy to feel crippled, feel a type of way, but honestly, you need to start where you are with what you have. And so that was exactly what we did. I remember reaching out to the first partner who was going to help us with the pilot program.
Okay.
And we had reached out with our shoulder high, zero amount in the bank. And we said, hi, how much is it to do XYZ? It was Coursera. They told us the price.
In dollars.
I think we should step back a bit. How did we even find Coursera? It was via LinkedIn.
Okay.
There was no prior relationship or anything. And so we're like, oh, we're interested in like taking 5,000 people through a training program. I mean, no, we wanted to do 2,000. We actually said 1,000, but we're like 2,000. Let's just aim for the stars. We would land on the something. Okay. So we said, let's try. We reached out to them. Somebody granted us a call. We had a call with the person. Next thing, they gave us price. And instead of us to give up, though, which is the good part of this story, we said, oh, okay, that's great. But do you have anything for nonprofits? Like any offerings for nonprofits? And they were like, no. However, this COVID period, we're looking to do a partner, like a non-government, want to partner with governmental organizations to help make Coursera accessible, blah, 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 blah. So we're like, oh, great. But the thing is, like, government is going to be slow. It's going to take a while, but we can deliver and we can help you get there faster. And we have structures in place. We have built a system that would increase completion rates. We have done this. We have done that. Give us a chance. Thank you very much to Chad, who went, advocated for us, who was working in Coursera. First time he ever heard us speak, but our story was consistent and convincing.
Who's Chad and how do you
So
guys
Chad
have
is
contact?
somebody who, as I said, we reached out to him on LinkedIn just saying, hi, we want to train this number of people, blah, blah, blah. And we sounded like people who had money, as I said, confidence. But then we didn't. So when he told us the price, we respected ourselves because we didn't have any naira in the bank, any dollar in the bank, nothing. And we said, do you have anything for nonprofits? And he told us, this is what we have. And we're like, okay, we know you want to do this with government, but they're slow, they're this, they're that. We can do it better. We're not saying people shouldn't partner with government, but test us first. And we have more of a bigger outreach. Beyond Nigeria, we'll be able to reach more people. And the guy was like, you know what? Let me take this back to the team and we'll get back to you. So he did that, advocated for us. We got 5,000 licenses, which was way more than we could have asked for. And when we got 5,000 licenses, we're freaking out. We're like, how are we going to do it? Because
you wanted it. Now
it's only 2,000 we wanted. And even that 2,000 was, again, we're aiming for the start. So we put it out there. Again, structure, right? Did the applications, showed the way that we wanted the application programs to go. And we thought through the customer journey. And this is something that I advise a lot of entrepreneurs to do. It's like when somebody encounters you, what is the process that they go through before they get to their transformation journey? As long as you're solving a problem, you're going to transform somebody's life in one way or the other. So figuring that out is very key. And so think about somebody who is coming to me for the first time. How are they going to encounter me? How will they find me? When they find me, what do I want them to do? What is the next step? What is the next step? What challenges will they encounter within this period? And how can I be present or have something that's going to circumvent it? So moving on from that, we did that with Ingressive for Good. We had one of the highest completion rates ever with Coursera. We got interviewed. We got reports done on us by World Bank. It was really impressive because we were one of their most top performing partners ever to have ever existed. And what was really even cool about that was we got about 20,000 applications or 10,000 applications. We got 2 times more applications than we had courses to distribute. And some of those people, I think one of them currently works in Kuda Business as a product manager just from taking the course. And we didn't just take Coursera courses. We arranged learning plans for people. So say, take this course, take this course, take this course, and by the time you're done, this is going to be the result. So that was one way. And when we were done with the whole program, we put together a report. People don't have the habit of reporting.
True.
We like to collect money, but we don't like to give accounts for the money that we've spent and how we spent it. Reports is in the culture of Ingressive. Like I entrenched it in there. It's like every time you get money, every time you get something, we give reports. If we don't even get money and we do something, we give a report. Yes, and we give reports.
Okay, you didn't do well this month or this.
Exactly. What do we do better? And when you have reports, you can say, okay, men are applying more than women, but women are completing more than men. Why? Do you get? We noticed from reporting that more women applied when we started to direct our conversations straight to them. Okay. Do you get? But if you don't report, you wouldn't know. You won't be able to go to your person and say, okay, we trained 130,000 people and we raised, say, 1 million, right? If you divide that, that's like $10 per person train. So literally anybody who is giving you money might be giving you $10 to train a person.
True.
There's a way that you can couch that to explain that to someone. So being able to report not just the numbers, but also the stories, qualitative reporting and quantitative reporting, going to give you a very, very balanced approach, right? And being as honest as you can to your donors, being accountable as well. Beyond donors, even as a fundraiser, if you're raising funds from people, have a mailing list for the people who fund you. Give them periodic updates. Tell them this is what we're up to. Ask them for advice. Involve them more. When they're involved, it makes them want to go the extra mile. For some funders as well, they just want bite-sized things that they can brag about. People give you money to brag sometimes. They want to be able to be part of conversations. They want to just be able to say, I'm funding a company that does da-da-da-da-da-da. They just want to say they're doing something magnificent in Africa. They just sound cool. So give them bite-sized stuff for them to sound cool with. Have hangouts sometimes, retreats, invite them to a table. People underestimate the power of food and lunches. People talk during lunches. Take people out to lunch. Take people out before you need them. So people wait.
So it doesn't look like, it's just when you need them that you're.
So people wait until they need someone before they reach out. No, keep the relationship before you need the person. Even if you're not currently raising money, start to build the pipeline so that when you are ready to raise the money, you already have a pool of people that you can directly reach out to and say, okay, hi, this is how we need help. Help us. Ask for intros. Ask for recommendations. If somebody refers you, it's easier to build the relationship than when you go there and you're cold calling.
This particular one was wonderful. I mean, this was an incredible session.
My pleasure.
I learned a lot. Definitely have a lot to take back home. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us.
Glad to be able to help. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's time for Mogul Monikers. Hey guys, welcome to the Mogul Monikers segment. Blessing, are you ready?
Woo! My energy's up.
Okay, I love that.
Now, good.
No, you get them. Now, in this segment of the show, I get to describe a few, CEOs,
Okay, I should be able to.
Tech, and then you just give me their names correctly, right?
Let's try.
You have a few seconds to answer.
Okay.
So we're going to do 3 or 4 questions.
Let's go.
Okay, so pick a number from 1 to 10.
6.
6.
Oh my God.
Okay. This innovator co-founded a tech giant and played a crucial role in the development of personal computing and is recognized for his philanthropic efforts. Can you identify this visionary?
Is it Steve Jobs?
No.
Bill Gates?
Yes! Bill Gates.
It's true,
that's
the philanthropic
correct.
part.
Yes.
Steve Jobs was not that philanthropic.
Well done. So pick another number from 1 to 10.
What about 9?
9. You just keep picking, tech questions. It's good. Good for you. This innovator, often associated with electric cars and...
Elon Musk, nah.
Hey! Voila! Well done. That was correct. You didn't even allow me land.
But you already said electric cars. Now you're like,
oh shit.
Elon Musk, dear.
Well done. Okay.
Should I pick number 3?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay, 3. Let's do 3.
3.
3 be my lucky number. I need to earn that.
Okay. This innovator is often called the father of modern physics and formulated the theory of relativity.
Einstein. It's not
Einstein.
Yes, no.
Just clap for yourself.
I mean, my name used to be Einstein. If I don't know that, what am I doing? And I was a science student.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well done. You did so well.
Wow, 3 over 3.
Congrats. Now we're going to move over to the pictorial segment.
Hey, whoa.
In this segment, I'm going to show you a photo, but it has like 3 photos in one.
Okay.
And then they all relate to one word, right? So you just give me the word.
Okay.
All right. So this one is too simple. Just give you simple ones in this game.
What if it's not simple? Oh, Nobel Prize? That's not the answer.
What's the word? Easy.
The
name.
Wale Soyinka.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Not all of them have names,
so
though.
some are names. Okay,
yeah, some are names.
Now I know. So, I was thinking of words only.
All right. So the next one.
Is this JJ Okocha?
Nope.
Okay, wait. Striker. It could be many things. Now it's number 7. Striker.
He's a popular number 7.
Gigi Okocha was number 7 now.
International. Think international.
Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah.
Okay. You guys, I play FIFA in my spare time. That's how I know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Just putting out there. And I used to be a Man U fan. I mean, I still am. Let nobody come for me.
Well done. All right. So the last one.
Let me get it though.
You get this one.
Twilight.
No. Look well now.
Something loading. What's loading? Why would you give me this hard one?
Why
do you think it was easy?
Your time is up.
Why do you think it was easy? No, I can't go on a losing
Your
note,
time is up.
dear.
No, if you lose one, it's not that bad now. I mean, you've been getting every other one.
Can we put this one in the middle and let me put the other one?
No, sorry,
shit.
ma.
What was the answer?
This is loading now.
Netflix
It's
now.
loading. See it now.
But what's
this is the
Netflix?
color. Black.
No.
and red.
My people judge it. Judge it, dears.
But that is
How?
it. But
How
it is
this
Netflix. It's just a
people
clue,
could have put
remember?
net. You could have put
No,
net.
now. Once you
It
put
could have
net,
been
you'd have
net.
gotten it.
No? You could put net, you could put load.
But this was a clue. It's just a clue.
Please let the people who developed this
I mean, you
game
got
know.
almost everything correctly. So
I'm
I'll still
not
give
okay
it to you.
with it. I'm a 10 over 10, babe.
I'll still give it to you. Well done.
Thank you so much. This was actually fun.
Yeah, well done, Blessing. Glad you had fun
Thank you
on
for
this
having
session.
me.
Thank you
I really
so much
appreciate
once
it.
again for joining us on this episode.
Thank
We
you.
definitely would love to have you back on the next season.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to the Trivia Game segment. Now on to today's trivia question. What programming language is named after an Indonesian coffee? Get the answer correctly and you'll be taking home a fantastic prize courtesy MTN. Now don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at MTN Nigeria and follow us on all our social media platforms at MTN NG. I'm your host, Adeze Adwaka. See you next time. Bye.